So sisters, welcome our guests, our beautiful sisters. And I'm so happy you're here with us. Blessings. We're just going to ask you for for the first part of the presentation, we're going to have you all not be on screen for the first part. And then for the second part, we're going to welcome you. Okay, so we are now live in Facebook. Hello, Facebook. We are recording. That's wonderful. So my sister Katarina, we're just going to ask you to put your screen on mute for now. And then when we, halfway through, then we're going to welcome all the women to unveil themselves. Okay? Thank you. So at first, you just need to put your screen dark, and then we're going to invite you back. Yes. Wonderful. Oh, that's a beautiful picture. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to take my locks down. I've been trying to dry this hair. So blessings. Welcome. Welcome to the next hour and 15 minutes. May it inspire your sensitivity and bring you some information you didn't know. So I'm MiraMichelle. I'm the founder and director of the Sacred Female Rising Institute, and we are on the amazing platform of the Convergence, which is leading us into Peace Weekend 2020. So what is this actually about? It is about unity consciousness. And I would appreciate myself to put my phone on airplane mode, that we don't hear the messages coming in. There we go. I just felt this moment and before this moment arrived to share my deep appreciation with some of the founders of this, what I feel is an incredible creation, creating a movement of unity consciousness. And those are my friends, Mr. Ben Bowler, John Raymer, Shelley Ostroff, and so many other amazing humans, Peter Melton, that have been working tirelessly for months, since June, when World Unity Week began, and through now. So deep bow, keep doing what you're doing, all of you. And we're going to keep doing what we do. It's good to be here with you, sisters. I'm excited about the next hour. So what we're going to do first is we're going to begin with a prayer. I love to call it like a weaving invocation. So each of the sisters are going to essentially, hi, welcome, sister. I'm glad you're here. So for the first part of this offering, we're going to have you put your screen dark, and then we're going to invite you all in. Thanks, darling. So this weaving is going to go from one woman to the other, and she's going to give like 30 to 40 seconds of like a prayer, or however she frames it. So we're going to start in alphabetical order and go around like how the rivers flow across our planet. Thank you. And I go last.
I think that means I'm first.
Yeah, I think it does.
So I'm welcoming everybody in to connect with the part of themselves that remembers that we are all here for a reason, and that we all have the power, and that we all have the skills and the wisdom of congregations and civilizations, of healers and magic people and workers and people who build things and co-creators. We have all of that behind us, helping us to be of service, to create upon our passions, to make the world a better place, to fulfill a vision that is connected in with Goddess, with God, with the energy of the universe, that we all are here for a reason and that we all are capable of creating extraordinary things in this world. And this is a message for everyone who hears this now or later, that you are powerful and you have it in you to be successful in creating a new world, a better world right now.
Sure, sis. I would like to add to that and just thank every soul that is here currently, thank their ancestors who have brought them here, and to just give ourselves permission to be and to shine at our full capacity, to no longer allow anything from the past or any fear of the present to stop us from doing what we've come here to do, to say the things that we have come here to say, to build what we have come here to build, and to do it unapologetically and with love, with compassion, and to see our sisters and our brothers as ourselves, and to build the world that we know that we are here to build. Thank you.
Isis, and I'm giving thanks and blessings to our ancestors and spirit guides to bring us together, and that we may unite in love, in unconditional love and unity, to raise our vibrations, especially in these times now, to help one another with the ascension, with the healing of Mother Earth, so that all her children can get healed, and as well as for the next generations. And I wish that we all live together in unconditional love and peace, supporting one another and giving thanks. Ashe.
To ask you to join me in chanting together the sound of Om 3 times. Om is the pranava, so it's the sound underneath all sound. And then 3 times Shanti, we wish peace to the people we know, who are close to you, to the worlds we know, which are familiar to us. We wish the second time peace to the people we don't know, the worlds we have no idea exist, and we wish peace again to all others. In repeating 3 times Shanti, feel that Shanti is peace from within. It's not peace from the externals. And in that peace, we meet everyone in that essence we all share, the consciousness we share. So let's all take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace unto all. May this gathering be placed under the most auspicious circumstances May our exchanges be fruitful and increase peace in the world as well as within us.
Blessings, sisters. So as I'm sitting here and now, I'm feeling the silence between all things. I'm feeling the call of the winds, of the waters, of the fire that burns in our hearts and in our stomachs. And I'm feeling the winds that blow, that clear our minds and allow us to soar. And I'm asking you, ancestors, I'm asking you, Great Mother, Mother Earth that sustains and nourishes and feeds and clothes us, all of nature, two-legged, four-legged, creepy crawlies, spirit worlds, the seen and the unseen, the galactic realms, the cosmic, of which we're all a part, here and now, to bless this moment that we have arrived, to bless all the humans that walk with consciousness, and to bless this endeavor that may it lead with each step to a greater and greater peace on this planet. I'm thinking of all the children that look up to us, and I'm blessing their innocence. May they continue to play in the garden. I thank you all. Ashe, Ahe, so smote it be. We let's take a few moments to simply feel, simply be. To realize that we are not separate, we're all connected. Okay. So we're going to continue our weave. We women weave. And we'll go again around in the same order and ask each woman to take like a minute to introduce herself on the panel and tell our sisters and brothers watching a little bit about yourself and what you do and what brought you here. It's a short introduction.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Love. I'm the founder of the Spiritual Foundations Library. I'm here in Portland. I'm an initiated spiritual guide, and I work with women on creating their life to be who they are. And I also work with ancestry, spirit, my focus. And I also do anti-racism work from a spiritual perspective. And the great pleasure of my work is watching people, helping people become exactly who they are, who they're meant to be in spirit, and how that then translates into their families and their communities and how we create the world together. And so that's me, Alexandra Loves. Welcome, blessings.
Blessings. My name is Faye. I am from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma originally. I live in Los Angeles. I'm studying traditional Chinese medicine, and my passion is holistic health and healing. I also have a deep passion for women and helping us connect to our sensual nature, helping us connect to our creative force. And I have a class that we twerk and we connect to our womb and we bring back the ancestral grounding movement and we celebrate each other and we celebrate our connection to the divine. So I just love creating community and being able to help us connect to our soul that will allow us deep physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Thank you for having me, sister.
Thank you. My name is Isis, Sakia Isis, and I'm an Afrocentric priestess and medicine woman. And my work is also with mostly in the Black community here in Germany and also in the UK. And I'm helping people to come back into their powers and doing empowering ceremonies like moon ceremonies or solstices ceremonies, as well as I'm doing readings, ancestral readings, when people come to me with any issues what they have spiritually. So I shall help them also through dreams, when somebody comes with different dreams and they're mostly in symbolics or animals, colors, whatever, numbers. So I can help them to find a solution or to find where they stand right now and bring them back into themselves, to be themselves and to have trust, to speak out and live their truth. As well as also I'm doing space clearings and some other one-to-one ceremonies. I'm also doing that. So I'm, as I said it, I don't know whether I said it, I'm based in Hamburg, but I'm often in the UK. I have a beautiful Black community there, and I'm leaving next month. End of the month, next week, to the UK after such a long time because of the pandemic. But yeah, I'm so excited and I'm glad to be here with you, sisters. It's my first time even to be online and live. I'm a little bit shy, but forgive me. Thank you, Ashe.
Good evening. I am Jeanine Munyeshuli. I am logging in tonight from Geneva, Switzerland, where I came and actually arrived in 1994, right after, or maybe just at the very end of the genocide of the Tutsi people in Rwanda. I was then a young, barely 20-something student. And then as a work, as a job, it's difficult to say one thing, but I want to mention that I am a yoga teacher, and my main purpose, and actually I think passion in life, is and was to connect people. To connect people to what they have in common, to what we share. And over time, I found that yoga connected me even to maybe my past lives. As a child, I remember just being so careful not to step on ants when I was maybe 3 or 4, and this is quite a vivid memory. And then later on, I would be afraid to eat fish. There was this grilled fish, and because I would hear voices. My mom then didn't say, didn't dismiss my voices or whatever I felt I was feeling or the dreams I had, but it made me kind of a restless child. So the practices of yoga, in a sense, brought me back home in myself and gave me a sense of home abroad when I was not entitled to go back home. Then 2 years ago, I also did the journey back home, at least in this relative planet we share. And I've been living in Rwanda for the past 2 years. And I'm first and foremost just glad to be joining you, Mira, and having been invited by you and connecting with other sisters, because I don't think there's something more beautiful than sisterhood. So I look forward to our conversation and exchange session. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm MiraMichelle. As I said, to begin with, I'm the founder of the Sacred Female Rising Institute. And this has been my primary work through many years of my life, is working with women. Women intrigue me. Women are such a power, and they are the ones that honor and bring forth the life-giving force. They are the life-giving force. I mean, all of life is a life-giving force, actually. But women hold this life-giving force and bring it forth. And so I began on this journey, I don't know, 20-something years ago, or maybe my whole life. And it has evolved in such an incredible way that I could have ever imagined. And through that time, I became a shaman. I became a medicine woman. I walked into and greeted the skills of seeing and working through the veil with the ancestors, and a healer also. I call it quantum shamanic healing, but it doesn't need actually a name. It is what it is. It is consciousness in a moment in time that's focused and has a certain intent, and that opens worlds. And as of late, I have been something of or I've always organized, but this mass organization is a new experience in some ways for me. So that's a weaving. And I feel that that's what women do best, is to bring in all the different parts and feel them and bring them into transformation, or bring them into a different place that they themselves can walk. So part of the deep work that I do is empowering women to know and feel themselves, working through the deeper woundology and coming back into their presence in their own authentic way of being and doing, by releasing programs and then being in joy, making many, many ceremonies. So for sure, I'm a ceremonialist, and I'm in service to the Great Mother. You know, it is indeed. I'm so excited about tonight, I must say. Okay, so what's going to happen now is that we're going to go deeper. We're going to dive in there. And so each woman is going to take 7 minutes, and she is going to share her truth, or whatever she has, her stories, her songs. We don't know what it will be. So let's sit back and enjoy that. And again, we're going to snake it through. Okay, so enjoy.
So something I've been sort of becoming aware of and really diving into in my own personal space as well as with other people is embracing the end of the world. For lack of, this is the best terms I can come up with. I feel very clearly that we are at the end of a world and the birthing of a new one, where destruction meets creation. We're at the crowning. And though I'm not a mother, what I'm talking about is that place where a new being breaks through. And it is so clear that's where we are. I mean, this whole epidemic has been named, you know, the culprit of this epidemic has been named Corona, the crown, right? And I might be joyful when I'm saying it, and I might look bright to people when I'm saying it, but it's not all rainbows and lollipops, as I like to say. Embracing destruction and birthing at the same time, knowing that I am a big part of this new world and that I have large, tremendous responsibilities in how I move and create into this new world and shepherd people into it. There's excitement in that, and there's joy in it. And there's also a lot of pain that I have to deal with it within myself, a lot of attachment that I'm being challenged by, and also seeing that in people around me. Doesn't matter how woke or spiritual, how long they've practiced, for decades or just starting to unplug. We all have challenges that we're working through, and in this destruction of the world and the birthing of the new one. And what I keep coming back to is the acceptance of what the record is saying, what Ifa says, which is, this is a war and we must fight. This is a spiritual war. It's also playing out as a psychological war in many cases. And I know clearly that all of us on this earth, almost all of us on this earth, are warriors, teachers, guides. We're either all of those or a combination of those. A lot of us are warriors. And I know I am. My guess is many of us on this Zoom are also warriors. And diving into this idea of that not all wars are fought the same. Not all fighting is the same. I'm finding that the fight within myself and with women that I'm working with, the real fight is inside. Who am I? How do I show up? What is the battlefield for me today in this moment? And those are questions and things I'd be diving into anyway, but especially right now in 2020, the significance of those things, the significance of how we go through this process. How we go through is what the result will be. And so really getting used to this idea, this knowing that I am a warrior and this is how I fight. This is my resolve, no matter what's coming at me, because I will build this in the new world, whatever that focus is for me. It's going to be different for everyone. That process in and of itself, that accepting that I am this warrior and that this is a war and that this is how I fight and that this is how I'll stay in it and that I'm not looking away and then I'm creating this while I'm sitting over here in this like destruction around me, but I'm going to create this in the new world and that everything's falling apart around me. But this thing over here that's going to be beautiful and unifying and a place where I can feel supported and safe. That is, that's a tremendous undertaking for all of us. And so that's when community comes in. Who do I have around me? Besides things I'm doing for myself, my own ceremony, my taking care of myself, my self-care, my meditation, who do I have around me? Who are the beings I have around me? My ancestors around me, the spirits around me, and the human beings also having a spiritual journey. How do I have more meaningful connections? How do I be more in truth? Finding the depth of truth is also a battle for all of us, because there's no end to that. The seeds are infinite. So also diving into community. How do I, especially because we can't always be next to each other and touch each other. And also because the way that we touch each other and connect to each other most of the time through these, online systems can also be very draining. And also opens us up, if we're broadcasting, to a lot of energies who are also searching, to a lot of energies that might be our spirit family, but also to a lot of energies who are vampires, who are, yes, I'm going to use the word, the enemy. They don't always have to be the enemy, but they could be in a moment an enemy. So diving into who is my community, who is supporting me, how can I support them? What can we co-create together? What's not being said that needs to be said? How much time do I want to spend on those who I thought were with me but not are with me? Those are the things that I'm diving into. My position as a warrior, my position as a guide, finding the depth of integrity, the how can I be in integrity in all of my interactions? I'm not in integrity in all my interactions. I've been programmed not to be. So if I'm not, and I realize it, how can I be in self-reflection of this thing that I said, or this thing I participated in? Oh, that doesn't line up with me. Am I going to punish myself? Am I going to be in that battle? Is that the war I want to fight today? Or am I going to accept it and move on, reconnect with my integrity, rebalance what needs to be rebalanced, and move on, because I need to get over there. I want to create that new world. I want to be in the process of creating this new world. Yeah? Bless it, Elache? Well, these are the things that I'm considering and working on, and all of what I bring into the world is what's going on in here. If it's not going on in here, it doesn't even compute for other people if I start talking about it, because I'm just basically just pulling things out of the air. But if I'm working on it in here and engaging with those things that are not lollipops and gumdrops, the things that are hard or painful, that are sometimes in the shadows for me, then it aligns to work with those things with other people and within communities. And I'm finding myself being more forgiving with everyone around me, even those who in a moment are acting like an enemy. I can be more forgiving. I don't have to compromise myself, but I can be more forgiving and compassionate. That's what I have to share. I think that was about 7 minutes, yeah? I didn't put a timer on. It felt like 7 minutes. Yeah.
It was like perfectly 7 minutes.
Ah, awesome. Alache, bless it. Ashe.
Whoa, Ashe.
Ashe, that was beautiful, sister. Thank you for sharing that. So many things that you said I really, really relate to. And I actually want to start with one thing that you said about us being warriors. And I feel like that really is the theme of what's happening right now, because like you said, we are in a war, and it is a war on our consciousness. It is a war on the deepest part of ourselves. And when we begin to realize that we have those characteristics inside us through our ancestors and through who we are right now, we're able to step up to the plate whole and be able to move forward the way that we are supposed to. And I think that not only are we warriors of what's happening around us, but we're warriors of breaking the chains and the cycles and the generational cycles that we're seeing in our families and we're seeing in our own behaviors and the things that we're learning and growing through. Anyone who's on a spiritual journey, come on. We know about the death and the rebirth cycle within our own lives. We know that there are many, many things that take us down to the depths for us to acknowledge. And the shadow becomes our friend, because once we kind of peek into the shadow with our flashlights, then we're able to bring all of that to the surface. We're able to allow that to become part of ourselves, and we're able to become whole again and get rid of the part that keeps us held back. So I feel like our society, all the shadows are coming up in conjunction with us also breaking the personal and the generational changes and chains. So I think there are multiple levels of the chains that we're breaking. It can be within our families. It can be within our personal lives. And then we see it outside of us in our society. And right now it's happening all at once. So that warrior aspect is really coming forward. Like, we have the tools and we have the capability to be vulnerable and strong at the same time. What I love about women is that, you know, the analogy of that mama lion, you know, the fierceness that comes from so much love and protection. I think that the mama lions are coming out for ourselves, for our ancestors, and then also for the generation ahead of us. When we break our generational chains, not only are we breaking it for the people that we are living and loving right now, we're also breaking it for those ancestors who had to live through it. We're also breaking it for the generations ahead of us who don't have to live it anymore because we said no to it. In the Bible, it talks about the sins of the father, and we're living that. We're seeing all of these things come up in our families, the secrets and the shadows and the things that aren't talked about. And we're given a chance to stop it, to come at it with a fervor, with a compassion. And that takes courageousness. It takes bravery. It takes a certain type of fearlessness that we see in warriors. And, you know, what I love about women is we have that within us. And personally, in my family, I have a lot of women warriors that have not been given permission to speak, the permission to be heard. They haven't given themselves that permission because it wasn't taught to them. And it's sometimes when the younger generation says, hey, we ain't doing this anymore. And it gives them that permission again. And so another thing of what I love to see, even reflected in us, is the different generations coming together to all teach us different things about the cycle of being a woman. So the warrior aspect has been very big to me. I think that just realizing that there is a war going on that is light versus dark, and we are seeing the dark come to light, but the light always wins, always. And I just want us to not only see that, yeah, we're fighting, we're seeing all of these horrendous things, even more, but we know one thing always happens, is that the light always wins, and the victory is here. We can be in the moment, we can be in the pain, we can acknowledge the suffering of ourselves and others, but as we pray, I also want to pray for our victory and acknowledge that it's coming, it's here, we're moving through it, we're moving to it, and we're just in the process of it. And as women, as Black women, a lot of the times we are on the front line. And we're equipped for that. We're made for that. So we feel so much, we see so much, we transmute so much. But we always have to keep the light and the dark within us. We can hold so much, but we also have to realize that we can also be joyful, we can be light, we can find those times to acknowledge the light and acknowledge the beautiful things that are happening. Our earth is healing. So many people are waking up. So many generational cycles are being broken. Even though the process is ugly, you know, wound healing is not pretty. Anyone who works in hospitals knows the pus and the blood and the scabs. That is real. We are in that process right now. Our wounds and inflammation is happening. But we're healing. Our ancestors, I keep getting this analogy, they are just celebrating. They are so proud of us. And they just want to continue to let us know that, you know what, we always win, always. But the dark knows that they're losing, so they're kind of acting out right now. So I think that in this moment, in this time, we get to choose to be able to hold both. And we also get to choose, like Alexandra said, the people that are in our lives. No longer do we have the space to hold those that do not hold us up as well. We really, really have to free ourselves and our consciousness to be able to be on the front lines. And a lot of people have been falling away from my own life, from the lives of those that I see and love. But truly it's for our best. And I think that we can send any person, place, or experience off with unconditional love and see us in them and know that we're all going through a journey. But that does not mean that our journeys have to be aligned. And that can be very difficult sometimes. So I just am so grateful that my soul chose to be here and to be surrounded by so many powerful women and just have the ability to see our world go through this change right now, even though it hasn't been easy. But they always tell me I'll never be alone, and I'll always have the people and the resources that I need. And so I just want to thank you all for being part of this, and thank you for allowing me to express. So thank you. Ashe.
I just want to quickly say before Sister Sakya Isis goes, many ancestors spirit showing up right now here, so it's vibration is increasing. Let's us last three, just take 5 minutes each, please. Bye.
Yes, thank you, sisters, for sharing your wisdom and your excellent experiences in life. And as for myself right now, I'm feeling, as much as for sure also many of us, this, how can I say it, kind of deep depression, globally depression, which is all around us. And it was not long ago, last week, I can share with you, I was having a real breakdown for the first time in this so-called Corona times. And I was really asking myself, where is it all going to? Are we going to make it? And I had so many doubts, and asking about also my personal life, how it's going to go on. Am I going to stay here in Babylon, or I'm going somewhere where I can escape? But where can you escape? You know, it's all over. Like this issues with the 5G, and yeah, really, I wish we can all make it, and I'm praying for it. I'm having more better energy now again, and yeah, but still there must come a solution for all of us, that we rise all together, that we share our wisdom, that we share our experiences, what we have, that we don't close our mouth and suffer alone. Like me, sometimes I like to do that, but this is just how I am. And yeah, to find some solutions how we can manage to come and rise together as a community, first also as a sisterhood, you know, especially the Black sisters, and also to take our brothers along because they're also suffering. And to see it also globally, like if I can go into the politics with the Black Lives Matter, you know, that is also something which is touching me very deep. And on a higher level, when I go to a higher level, I can see also that these evil ones, they want to separate us, you know, they want to separate humanity in all, so to, you know, divide and rule. That's what they want. And they're eating from our fears, they're eating from our low vibrations, and that is how they come into power. And we don't have to allow them that, you know, we have to fight that we are rising our vibration and make one another happy, and just saying a nice word to another person, you know, that sometimes it's just that, or give a hug to a beloved person, you know, something like this. And always believe in the good things to come, and pray for the best, yeah, for the best to happen for us as humanity, for all the children here of Mother Earth, and for the healing for Mother Earth, so that, as the sisters already said, the next generations can have a beautiful place here. And things has to change, you know. Actually, this time is a very exciting time on one side, because everything is changing. It will never be like before again. That's what I believe. But we have to shift it in the side, in a positive side, so that everything will be open for us, and will in going back, looking back to our ancestors, and getting the roots from there, and getting the wisdom to unfold this wisdom of our ancestors, and bring it out and share it with one another. That can rise us all together, you know. And this also can drift the other people away. I mean, the evil ones who try to manipulate us and try to get power over us. I don't want to talk so much about them, but we have, as people, we have to come together. Even not first at all, we Black people have to be united, and then we can also come together with the whole humanity who are in a positive vibration, in a higher, coming up in higher vibration, so that we can all win this spiritual war, you know. And when we win it, yeah, then it's a beautiful world. And I'm so grateful that me, myself, my children, and all my friends around me, sisters, brothers, we are here at that present time, at this moment of the ascension, you know. We are all ascending, we are all coming up. And this is so beautiful if you are conscious about it. There are so many people who are not yet conscious, they are still in the three-dimensional. And some people were asking me, why can we not bring them up and so, but as I feel and what I think, it's because each one of us, first of all, we come here with our free wills, yeah? We have a free will to come in to the human body, to make this human experience here on earth. And because of that free will, some spirits were choosing to stay in that 3 dimension, to stay in the materialism and not to go in the spirit realm. And we have to accept that there will come sometimes is in the spirit world is, you know, our spirits has also different ages. I see a lot of young children. Also, I see sometimes in YouTube some young Black boys and girls who are so much open already, who are so high level in that age. I was never like that. You know, maybe I was thinking a little bit in that direction, but I was not conscious like that, really not. And the children who are born in the last 10, 15 or 20 years, they are so bright, and they come with the old spirits are coming, and but also spirits who are volunteering to come here on earth, to incarnate here on earth, to help with the ascension, to help to heal Mother Earth and all his children. And this is so beautiful to see that so many people are waking up now. And this gives me power to continue to live for my people, also to be them a good example and help them in coming to their divine power and create a beautiful life for themselves. You know, this is my happiness, so to say. And I'm giving thanks to my ancestors and spirit guides, and I'm giving also thanks to MiraMichelle, who helped me also to go this way, where I was making my medicine woman training, and in the native indigenous Indian way. And also I was initiated with my mother-in-law in South Africa, who was a Sangoma, and with my grandmother in Sudan, who was a priestess, the South priestess, and you know, that is from the ancient Egyptian and Kemetian and Kushian ways. So I'm very proud to have them all behind me and all my ancestors and spirit guides, and I'm giving thanks, and I say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Yes.
Thank you, Isis. Thank you, all of you who spoke before me. I wanted to touch upon a few points, but I'm also setting up the timer because I can take long when I start speaking. I was actually very moved by the title and general theme that was chosen for tonight, welcoming the vibration of Black female spirituality to empower women and honor all of life. And the first thought that came to me, I don't know who the audience is behind all these screens and online on Facebook, but I thought I should just start with a reminder that in the world I live in, and you probably all live in, the default mode is not me, a person who looks like me. You see, we need to have those words like female, Black female spirituality. I have my favorite 2 actresses are Angela Bassett and Meryl Streep, who happen to be American, both of them, but you would introduce Meryl Streep as an American actress, and then you would introduce Angela Bassett as a Black female actress. This is to tell you that somehow the center in the world we live in today is not center. We are not the center. There's a whole vocabulary, and even the way thinking is articulated is not for us, meant for us. And so in placing us back in the center, it's not to dismiss or to push away others at the periphery, but in our essence, we are more inclusive, and I will get back to it when I speak about spirit. But I think it's about time we place the Black female experience at the heart of global feminist movements, which you said, Black Lives Matters, ISIS, and at the center of spirituality. It's like long overdue. Then the second I wanted to touch upon also is spirit. Of course, spirit means many things for many people, actually different things for many people. But I guess we would all agree that when we speak about spirit, we speak about an underlying essence that animates different life forms. And when also we speak about spirit, at least in my own culture and tradition, there's something that immediately links up to arts, to dance, to proverbs, to poems, to music, to actually women's traditions and utopias and dreams. So when you speak about spirit, you step away from what would be the Cartesian mind and logic, but it's something that speaks to the inside, to the feelings, to inner standing, as opposed to understanding. It speaks of insights as opposed to logic, and it speaks of something that is not seen but that moves everything. So and in that idea of Black female spirituality, there's plenty of space for all of life to meet. And in fact, this is something I also want to say about at least my own culture that I'm rediscovering. Like in many other African societies, my ancestors and my grandmothers actually were not domesticated housewives. There were politicians, there were artists, there were shamans. One of them was actually a rain queen. She would call the rain and the rain would come. So these were forms of powers that are not at the forefront of what we see as forms of power. But to make the rain come means that you also bring life and food and everything. So in redefining and placing Black female spirituality at the center of spirituality itself, we bring also a different expression of power. That is not, I am not powerful because I'm stepping on you or over you, but because I'm offering something to the collective. And that to me, I mean, there's nothing more beautiful than that. We spoke about being warriors and being at war, but how do we reestablish dharma or peace or goodness or upholding good values if they're not embodied? And in the female body, I mean, it's like, it's a body. I cannot speak of myself outside of my cycles. I cannot speak of myself out of the poems and the lullabies and the songs and my mother tongue. And every human being will speak about his or her mother tongue. So there's also one point that I want to add on, is that mother always goes with love. And this is the one power that is the most needed today. Whichever form it takes, it will be necessary. Last, because my bell now is ringing. In African traditional spirituality too, because spirit is everywhere, everybody who really who's been invested in African spirituality treats nature with compassion. When the white men came to colonize and dominate and exploit, he would see a tree and see timber. My grandfather still sees an ancestor. And this way of seeing life is not primitive as in backward, but it's actually the innovation we are bringing back. And I'm glad that we mentioned Black Panther the other day when we were preparing for this panel, and the Afrofuturism. It's not the past, it's the future. The future is for the healers, the worshippers, the tree huggers, the loving people of this world. And I believe there's a lot that can be borrowed and taught from and seen in African spiritualities, not to idealize or romanticize them, but there's a lot, obviously, we already bring on the table tonight as we sit together. So over to you, Mira. I talked for 6 minutes.
I could have listened. You could have went on and on as far as I'm concerned. I want the lullaby. Okay. I'm going to do my 5 minutes or maybe 4 minutes or I don't know what yet. And then we're going to open up the room and have some questions and maybe dive a bit deeper even. So we continue to weave. Whoa, I'm so full of inspiration and I felt the ancestors come. It's just joining us. So many of them. Well, I was started getting pushed at the back. And what a blessing from all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Whew. You know, there's so many things I could say. There's so many deep spiritual experiences that have been here with me. But you know, I want to share the thing that's not usually said. Right? I feel the warrior, absolutely. And part of my warrior was sewing me together between, you know, having a Black father and a white mother, right? And coming into my identity as a Black woman and embracing that, right? That's what first and foremost that my warrior was helping me to embody. And that was a deep, you know, I see that a lot like what's going on the planet also as a metaphor. And that weaving, that deep weaving brought me right to spirit. That deep weaving brought me right to spirit. Because I couldn't keep going to what our sister mentioned as the logic. You know, it's a way that going through Western society and going through the normal channels that you become this person, right? Because every time that would begin to happen, I'd be somehow flat on my nose, right? So I learned that quickly that wasn't how I wanted to walk, right? It didn't allow me to shine. It allowed me to be, you know, something of a robotic, repeating human. And I wanted to feel alive. And that's when the nature began to speak and inform and guide. And the ancestors then show up and begin to speak and inform and guide. And then I, and as we all will, when we go into these vibrations, begin to see the deep magic in our world. So the funny thing about me is, a little funny story about me, because I think human stories are part of the glue, is that until I was like 31, I didn't really have any rhythm. I couldn't dance. You know, I used to get teased all the time. You know, Shelly can't dance. Shelly, my brother used to have a go at me. And then, she's got no rhythm. And then when these forces were close to coming together to meet, I didn't even know it. You know, a lot of times we got to look back and see what happened. When they were coming together, all of a sudden, boom, I got the spirit back, returned in my body, and I could dance. Oh my gosh, the freedom, the emancipation. And I'll never forget, because my brother had come to Europe to visit me, my big brother, I love him so much. And he was, Shelly, you can dance now, you know, he was flabbergasted. I got myself back on the planet, and I could move my hips, and I could move parts of me. The shame fell off me in buckets, you know, and I went into the earth. My journeys were deep down into the earth. I went on so many journeys of, whew. You know, of healing, those deep wounds. I've been on those slave boats. I've been all the way back, you know, and kept sewing myself back together and how I wanted to walk on this planet. And right now, one of the, well, if I could say, I'm really, really proud of myself in this life, for who I've become so far. And that's part of a warrior too, to be able to say, well done. Keep moving with all of that. And right now, and I think one or two of you sisters have said this, one of my biggest challenges as a woman of color, since I turned the corner this year, before I could always sort of balance it, you know. And when a sister is a sister, it doesn't matter what nationality she is to me. She's a woman, she's a sister. But as a Black woman living in Europe now, I begin to feel things this year that I didn't need to feel before. Do you understand what I'm saying? And now I turn that corner and I feel it in my stomach, you know, and it pisses me off. It really, I have to go on these long walks because I you know, put a little stick in my mouth and chew on it. It's like, you know, and part of it is another part of that healing, right? And when I see what the world is presently going through and how much every single woman and almost every single person that feels what I'm about to say will say the same thing, and everyone here said it tonight, how much we need to come together in community and work together now more than ever before, ever. And when you know your history, when you really know your history, and that's the thing with being a Black woman, is that you have some history that was just right back here. It was there. So you know how things can shift and change very quickly. That experience might be very close to you. Now that's not only Black people, of course not. We all have our own individual experiences. And when I call to all of these wonderful women, it's so funny, is I just looked at a piece of paper and it said witch. When I called all these wonderful witches, come on, let's come together and do this together. And I'm seeing 5 or 6 or 7 of 1 or 200 showing up in an average way, you know, ongoingly. And the other ones are dropping out, like one or two of you have said. I find it very difficult. And that is, I'm sad about that. I'm in process with that now. As a teacher that has had women come through the most profound spiritual experiences, and my human, you know, my spirit will let go, but my human is like, you've gone through all of that and all those deep ceremonies, and you know what spirit's been saying, and you cannot find your way to show up at this time. Whew. That is difficult for me. That's one thing I'm struggling with, and especially as a person of color, it's so painful. That's what it is. You know, you've given so many years of your life to build a sisterhood, and you see how the people are suffering. You see people being shot down in the street. And you're making the call. We can do this now. We can do something. We could be a part of something. And it's like, you know, and I have a very difficult time in understanding what that is. And I have to, because I can't walk around with that. You know, the warriors, she wants to get her sword out sometimes, you know. Did we say light sword? Woo, you know, what the hell, you know? So I have to go down on my knees, get humble pie. Humble pie again. That's one thing I love about my people, because in one moment you can be crying together and the next moment you're laughing. And no one's holding on to all that, make it a big issue. You just laugh and cry together and then you keep walking. And I love that. That's roots. That's roots. Yeah. Okay, those are my few minutes. Whew. Thank you. Blessings. They call those ancestors in. We call those ancestors in with our heart, with our truth, with our tears, with our joy. We're calling all that vibration in. And I'm happy that you three sisters that have been behind your screens are welcome to pop in. And all you ones that are watching, thank you for being there and holding each other right now and hugging each other and kissing each other. So feel free, Constancia or Catherine, Amanda, Gretchen, to come out and see us if you feel to. Blessings. Ooh. And yeah, we can take a few more mins. Let's do it. Why not? We're here. If there's something one of you wants to speak to for what another sister shared, and maybe you have something to support her with or add, or there's a question that wants to be put into the weave, let's do it. Feel free.
Dear MiraMichelle, dear women, I first want to say, oh, I have to mention my name. My name is Carla Catharina Giskus, and I'm coming from the lower lands. And I'm a daughter of To van den Burg and Nick Ammerlaan. I'm part of the Frisi Council of Indigenous Women. And I want to thank you. I'm very, very honored to be in this circle. And all what you're sharing, for me, is the equality of all human beings on the earth. So important to really every minute live it. And I was in a circle of Black midwives, and I just landed there. And there was a teaching of a woman, and she is teaching about praying for the waters and saying that the liberation of the Black women is the one of the main parts, like what you're saying. It's also connected to the climate thing. And maybe I don't use so clear words, but I really feel this is true. And that it's really a process of all being reborn and reborn and reborn and don't give up and really standing. And actually, this is why I'm here. I really, MiraMichelle and you all women, I really want to say that I'm here as a sister of you, as sisters, equal sisters, and that we support each other. This is what I have to share.
Oh, hey, sister. Ashe.
Where are the lower lands? What does that mean?
The Netherlands, the lower lands where the rivers of Europe come, the delta. I'm
Yes.
really living in the delta, but we like to mention the waters instead of the nation states in a way. So more where the nature is.
I love that.
Yes.
That's where my family's from, New Orleans and the Levee towns. Interesting. Thank you.
Good enough.
There's maybe one thing I want to share. The woman who told me about the going to the waters, Omilaye Lewis, and she is actually asking us to pray for the water, like you all know. But right now we're going every Wednesday to our local waters, our local watershed. And well, I want to put this invitation to you if you would feel like and would like to join. We all do it in our own place, but the idea that other sisters are going to their own local water and to make the connection with the water, it's I just want to bring it in this circle.
Water is life. What do you, sisters? Hello, Amanda, are you there? You going to say something? Say hello to your cousin. I love you, darling.
Amanda, we're calling you. Amanda. 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 Until Amanda comes on, I just want to say that this has been a really powerful and calming circle, and that I am happy to be connected in with all of you. And I feel that when I show up in spaces like this, I feel that when I'm listening to all of you, I feel a graduation within myself. Doors sort of get opened that I have been knocking at. I knock at a lot of doors. So I really am appreciating all of you, MiraMichelle, Jeanine, Faye, Sakya Isis, and welcome Katerina. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sister. Well said.
Thank you.
I know we're going to wrap up soon, but maybe we could just spend just like 3 minutes on this question. Like, what would you all say if you had like 30 or 40 seconds to answer this after feeling into it? Is the next, what's the next step or movement or embodiment or place for Black women? What do they need? Where are they going?
Go back home.
Back home, did you say?
Yes. Back to the roots, Mama Africa. We could all come from all the continents, going back to Mother Africa and build something there together with our sisters and brothers. That would be great. a lot of people doing that already. I've seen a lot of them from America, from
Well,
the
we're
UK.
all
They're
from
going back.
Africa.
Yeah, I want to be one of them.
I know you do, love.
I wish a lot of us can join. Yeah. To make our Africa big again, so that our ancestors can be proud of us. To be the kings and the queens, which we've been always, come out again. Yeah. I wish that for all of us. Yeah. Shit.
That would be my answer too, is to return to your ancestors. Learn your ancestors, work with your ancestors, find out who you are, learn more about the passion and purpose with which you were made. Find your spiritual family in human form to do this work together. Find your community. Returning home is a really good way to put it. I like that. Return home. Work within spirit. If you're going to fight on terms of your spirit. If you're going to build in terms of spirit. If you're going to be in a disagreement, check in with your spirit first. You're going to create something through your spirit.
Sure.
That's it.
Yes, I say the same. I feel the same. Learning our true history as queens and kings, pyramid builders, revolutionaries, alchemists, and realizing that it's inside of us currently, and stepping into that power and that knowing, and then also helping others in our community know their power and be able to begin to touch into their power within. So when we're creating these communities and the Black Wall Streets again, it's coming from a place of spirit. I think that's beautiful, and I think it starts with our history.
I am going to be a bit different in the way, I don't know where we're heading to, but what I see would be helpful, useful, is to find wherever we are, wherever a Black woman is, a way to reconnect to nature in its most pristine form. There are things that cannot really be taught. I believe spirit is everywhere, but even to develop the sensitivity to feel it, I don't know what it takes, but the direct experience of nature in its most pristine form, and this is what modern world has been depriving many of our kids from, is what spiritualizes us. And you just can't stop doing harmful practices because you fear climate change. You can't just do these big things that we must do in order to survive, I think, as a species, if you are not moved from within. So if I were to start something really bold, I would encourage people to go to find a way to get in nature in its most pristine form, to walk barefoot, like something really physical, embodied, swim, remove your bra, like have a physical experience that connects you with something bigger than what you think you are, which is like essentially who you are. And also because we are in a world which is trapped in caught up in thoughts and in thinking and in logic, I would also encourage our sisterhood and other people and friends to do all our best to value nature in the form of, for instance, I think in New Zealand it happened, to give personhood to rivers. I mean, us sitting on this panel, we are like not even the 1% of people who would speak of a tree as a she or a river as a she. But a company has legal personhood. And in a way, what is stated and in our laws, whether it's true or not true, because even prejudice is in the laws, like it gives to the ordinary people a sense of what is right or wrong. If it is said in the law that it is wrong to cut a tree from the equatorial forest in Congo, which is the biggest reservoir of water and oxygen, then somebody will have to think twice. Not because they love it or they know it, but because somehow it has been stated that it's a sacred place. So we have to find ways to translate what we feel deeply in kind of mundane words and practices for the non-awakened among us. Whether it's changing the laws, I think this is what the Black Lives Matters do, and all other movements have been doing, even feminist movements, like starting by the right to vote. Like somehow we have to invest the political sphere and make those things that speaks to the logical mind, but in the end, awaken the spirit in everyone. Like this is what I feel we should be doing, and it's kind of super hard to do, but I feel like this is the direction we should be taking. Thank you.
Yes. Whoa. Love all these voices. Our sister Constancia is there. You want to say hello to us, darling? I love this sister. I met her at Spirit Weavers last year. I knew I was going to see her again.
I love how beautiful, sister. I am literally, feel so honored and blessed to be on this circle. I'm in between clients and on my lunch break, but I just quickly sent you a chat. But I'm happy you called on me. I knew you would. I love you all so much. We know each other. We know each other's spirits. We know each other's hearts. I'm here in love and support of all of you. There's an incredible opportunity now for intergenerational healing. The reason for me, I've always felt so connected to, oh my goodness. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Always felt so connected to people of darker skin is how I'm going to just share it, because of my own past lifetimes, at least 2 past lifetimes in South Carolina as such a woman and a man, actually. Yeah. So the intergenerational healing that all of us women are now called on to be in our own hearts, come to forgiveness, is so prevalent right now and so important. I was in South Africa, in Cape Town, in February, right before COVID. And I viscerally got to experience in my white skin right now, my life there as a woman of Black skin. The violence, the abuse, the rape, the murder, all of it. I am currently still in processing that and healing that and asking for forgiveness. And it's extremely hard. Yeah, so I feel you, sister. I feel your tears. Those are my tears. Your pain is my pain. Yeah, I'm doing all I can right now to do this here with my daughter, who's here right now, who's in a similar space. Yeah, we can't do this alone. We need a village of women. I've called a gathering here tomorrow night in honor of all of this. There's a whole group of women with young children coming in, sharing, supporting, loving, laughing, crying with each other. That's what we must do right now. So I'm blessed that you called up on me. Even my battery went out of charge, but I just trusted, like, just plug it back in. It's gonna come on at the perfect divine time. And I wanted to share this beautiful young woman, I don't know where you are, who talked about ancestors. And this is a teacher, a beautiful Maori elder teacher who taught this to me a long, long time ago. He said, your ancestors are here with you right now. Call upon them. You don't need to go out there or anywhere to be with them. Call on them right now. Ask them for help. They are here to support you right now. And that's really something that I'm sure all of you already know, but we forget sometimes. I can only speak for myself. I forgot all about my ancestors, especially way, way back. Yeah, from those times. And they're receiving the healing also now because we are partaking in our own healing. Hey, said enough. Love you, sisters. And thank you for all you do. Love you.
Oh, bless.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, well, we're going to close it out now. Wow. I'm not going to be able to sleep for 2 or 3 hours now. I feel that I would like to add to that little circle we had, this, or little weave we were weaving, and that is we need the ceremony. We need the direct revelations. Like you were saying, direct experience with nature, and then put ceremony right there. We need to, that's the only thing that will override these really dense programs we're living in. Very, very, very dense materialistic programs. I'm not saying anyone needs to be not what they are, but those experiences will bring us actually what we really long for. What we really, really long for. And it's not more stuff. And it's not building bigger buildings. You know, it's really to be super grounded, humble, and empowered, and re-empowered with each other. That's what I see. That's what I feel. Direct experience. You know, we get it directly. We don't need to get it through any other source or through another human. I mean, that's fine too. That can happen. But boom, direct experience helps us to take direct responsibility. And that's cool. Yeah. Okay, my sisters. So if we could go around and everyone say their name again into the circle, all of us here, and one word blessing to send that out. And that will be the end of our weave.
My name is Alexandra Love. Yes.
My name is Burkley, and love.
I'm Zakia Isis, and unconditional love.
Jeanine Munyeshuli, I wish peace, love, but peace, really peace, Shanti, Amahoro, peace unto all.
I'm MiraMichelle, and it's freedom. And you sisters?
My name is Katarina Fiskus, and I feel courage, really courage.
I'm Constancia Tilbecki, Auntie Constancia Tilbecki. And what's in my heart, the word that wants to come through is recovery.
Ooh.
Recovery, renewal, recovery of self, recovery of our soul. It wants to come through, recovery of soul. Take those soul parts back that left. Let's bring them back.
That's it. And does the one who's sitting in the middle, who's doing the silent one, holding the silent space, have a word and a name for us? You're going to be the mystery. You're going to be the mystery for us, darling. Oh, have you fallen asleep? I don't think we're going to get a word out of her. Bless her. All right. Let's do this again. Let's weave this again. Thank you all that have...
Bringing us together, MiraMichelle. Thank you for holding the space.
You're welcome.
Blessing.
Thank you so much, Mira. This
Thank
is such a
you.
blessing to be part of.
Thank you all for showing up.
Thank you, sister.
So let me just take us off of live, stop live stream. Thank you all for watching. Many blessings.